Flashback Friday. For the next following Fridays, we will upload some vintage tasty memories for those of you who have never seen them before. Hope you enjoy. Hey, hey, hey! Tasty memories. Yeah. Turkey pocket pies are basically like chicken pot pies, but with turkey and in a pocket pie. Now, this is a perfect recipe to use up any leftovers you have, especially after Thanksgiving, and it all starts with a buttery, flaky crust. Now for this, you need to make sure your ingredients are cold. So I have 2.5 cups of flour here that I had in the fridge for a little while, took it out. To this I added a teaspoon of salt and a tablespoon of sugar. Just mix that all up well. And now for the butter. Brace yourselves, we're going to use 2 sticks. But it's okay because you're not going to eat all these pies by yourself, are you? Yeah? No, that's not a good idea. But anyway, make sure your butter is really cold. So I, cut them into really small pieces and chilled them before I added them to the flour. And I don't have a processor or a pastry cutter, so I just use my hands. The key is to break apart the butter into smaller chunks. And you can use a fork for this if you like. And at this stage, you want it to look really crumbly. Now for our next ingredient, water. Ice cold water. You see I got some ice cubes in there. You're just going to add a little bit at a time, and there really is no real measurement for this. You just kind of have to eyeball it. So what you're looking for is, as you're incorporating the water, the clumps should start forming bigger clumps. Now it's not going to look like pizza dough, right? Just one huge mass. It's going to look really crumbly, and that's okay. See, it's going to look crumbly just like that. Now just put it onto a board, and you're going to form it into a ball as best as you can without melting the butter. You take that one ball and turn it into 2 balls. 2 balls. Now these are going to go back into the fridge and chill for at least 30 minutes. You're just going to wrap them in some saran wrap, and they keep pretty well, so you can make some for the future. For the filling, I had a lot of turkey left over and some asparagus, but you can use anything you have. Now I had a lot of onions, celery, and carrots left over, so I just used that as well. Season them with some salt and pepper and sweat them in some butter. Just cook them until tender. Now again, you can use anything you have. A sprig of thyme or sage is really nice for this. And once everything's tender, you're just going to add some flour, just enough to coat everything. And this is what's going to thicken up the filling. You just want to stir it around till you cook out the raw flour. It gets nice and toasty. Now you could skip this step if you have a lot of leftover gravy. It'll be really great for this recipe. But for this, I added some chicken broth, a little at a time, and raised the heat until it thickened up just like this. Now since the turkey and the asparagus is already cooked, we just have to add it at the very end. Let it warm through and get happy with all the other ingredients. If you have any leftover roasted potatoes, just throw them on in. Be lovely. Now just let this sit aside to cool while we work on the dough. Now on a floured surface, you're going to roll out the dough. Now I wanted mine to be rectangular shape, so I rolled it out to a rectangle. But if you like that half crescent empanada shape, just roll it out into a circle. It's all up to you. It'll all be tasty anyway. Now you see those bits of butter? That is what's going to make our flaky crust, because in the oven, steam is going to release from those chunks of butter and create all these flaky layers throughout the crust. Now you see I rolled it out to a rectangle, and I cut it into about 8 rectangles to make 4 pies. Now take each rectangle and you're going to flatten them out a little bit more just to make them wider. Now at this point, your filling should be cooled off. You want to go ahead and fill them up, but not too much because they'll bust at the seams and it'll make a really soggy pie, so you don't want that. Make sure to leave a little room around the edges. Now again, you can fill this with whatever you want. If you just have stuffing and some turkey, it'll be really yummy too. Now go ahead and seal the edges with a fork. And be sure to create some vents so that the steam can escape and it won't turn into a mini pie monster in the oven. You also want to make it nice and golden brown, so you're going to give it a wash. Here I used some buttermilk, but you can use egg wash or milk if you have. Now just put it in the oven, 375 for 15 to 20 minutes. I hope you'll enjoy this recipe. I know I sure did. It makes me feel just how I should during the holidays, warm and cozy. For more, please visit justylife.com and be sure to say hi on Facebook and Twitter. We'd love to hear your tasty memories. Bye!